Look, I know it is unrealistic to expect Fallout 5 right now in terms of announcements, but if you're gonna host a presentation called Fallout Day and spend quite a bit of chunk of time talking about upcoming Fallout stuff, you gotta do better than this. Like, this Fallout Day 2025 could have been an email. Again, people were not expecting Fallout 5 because they're working on Elder Scrolls 6 first, and then they're going to work on Fallout 5, so we're not going to be seeing Fallout 5 for like another decade to decade and a half. But people were hoping, I don't know, just for anything, like a Fallout New Vegas remaster, just something that actually felt new. But what we got instead was just a rehash of old stuff, which is a specialties of Bethesda. Given how many times they've re-released Skyrim, perhaps it should come as no surprise that they're re-releasing everything else. Like, for example, Fallout 4. On Bethesda Softworks' official channel, you can see right here that they hosted this Fallout Day Broadcast 2025 live stream. And then beyond that, they uploaded all of the trailers that they showed off during the presentation. And they've got not one, but two Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition trailers. One that reveals the actual, repackaging of Fallout 4, the re-release of Fallout 4, essentially, and then a Switch 2 edition, which is, nice. You can take it on the go and whatever, but announcing a bunch of these re-releases and then not having anything new at the end of it all, or at least nothing that really gets the sparks going for Fallout fans, it all culminated in a lot of disappointment. And it culminated in a lot of people just making fun of Bethesda because this is just typical Bethesda with their re-releases. So right here, for example, you can see that the reveal trailer for Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, the likes to dislikes ratio is not particularly favorable with 5.9 thousand likes and 12,000 dislikes, and the comments are pretty scathing. People saying Bethesda never changes. And then below that, we've got somebody bringing up a good point. Bethesda almost re-released more games than they've released, LOL. And you can see what some of the expectations were, with some folks saying that they were expecting a Fallout 3 or New Vegas remaster announcement, and instead we got Fallout 4 Skyrim Special Edition, LOL. Given the treatment that Oblivion Remaster got and how well that was received, people are hoping for something similar for Fallout 3 or New Vegas, but instead we got a Fallout 4 re-release, the game that least needs a re-release because it's one of the more modern Bethesda games. And they didn't remaster Fallout 4, they straight up just re-released it, and they packaged in all of the DLC and all of the Creation Club mods and stuff like that. But unless you've not partaken in all that extra content, you're not getting anything new here except, maybe like an upscale in resolution and some optimizations and performance for modern hardware. I think this comment here put it best. This could have been an email. It's that kind of presentation that was hyped up for no good reason. They could have just made these announcements on some blog posts or, just announced it on social media. They didn't have to make a whole song and dance about this stuff. Now, we did get a Fallout New Vegas related announcement, but it too is essentially a big ol' re-release. As part of the 15th anniversary of Fallout New Vegas, they decided to put together this 15th anniversary bundle that includes this statue of Victor, and this is basically what's called the Collector's Big Box that has a bunch of cool just merchandise and just cool little accessories and extra bits and bobs on top of game codes for New Vegas, the game itself, for PC. As for what else they announced during this presentation, they announced that the Ghoul would be in Fallout 76, or they showed us how the Ghoul would be implemented into Fallout 76, which, the Ghoul's cool. I do like the Fallout show, but this is pretty meh in the grand scheme of things. They announced some sales, they announced some new benefits for Fallout First, the subscription for Fallout 76. I have really bad memories with Fallout First covering all of that and how disgusting it was for them to release a subscription model when Fallout 76 was practically on fire. So I'm not someone who really supports Fallout First or really finds anything positive about it. Some new stuff for Fallout Shelter and just more Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas re-releases. And that's about it. And some new merchandise. Like, really, this was the most nothing burger of a franchise-dedicated live stream presentation I've ever seen. This really didn't need to happen at all. They should have skipped Fallout Day altogether and just announced these via a blog post and not done a live stream. Now, Todd Howard did say during the Fallout Day broadcast that they are working on some new stuff that they'll announce down the line, but no hints were provided on that front. So I do believe that we'll probably end up seeing some kind of Fallout 3 remaster or a New Vegas remaster, both if, possible. That'd be ideal, before we see Fallout 5, because again, Fallout 5 is so freaking far away because Elder Scrolls 6 is taking priority right now. But yeah, just wait until those are ready to show and you're ready to announce those before you do a Fallout Day broadcast at this level where you're doing a full-ass live stream, because at that point, the expectations are sky high. Which is why when people got more re-release announcements and information that just wasn't very compelling and that could have been an email, the likes to dislikes ratio speaks for itself, or, the reception on this was pretty mixed, with people saying things like this for the actual Fallout Day broadcast 2025 video that they uploaded after the stream. Watching Fallout Day broadcast 2025 almost makes you wish for nuclear winter. Here's somebody who said, I pretended to shit on the toilet at work for this. Tons of people out here saying this could have been an email. The best comment I saw is that this could have been an email, so on and so forth. Bethesda's reputation has been in a bit of a lull lately because Fallout 76's launch just really put a sour taste in people's mouths. Their mobile efforts, how microtransactions ridden they are, put a sour taste in people's mouths. Starfield ultimately not living up to the hype of a brand new single-player Bethesda game. It falling short of, a lot of what you expect from Bethesda titles, with exploration especially just being utterly butchered by the way it's been formatted with the space setting and the separation of all the different elements through loading times and whatnot, and how fast travel involved that game was, because the open world was split into a lot of little segments across various planets, and just combined with the setting and the story and all these things just not coming together in a way that people felt it did for other Bethesda releases in the past, with a lot of people feeling Bethesda has been one miss after another lately, and them really keeping their fingers crossed that Elder Scrolls 6 will be their return to form. Currently, Bethesda really needs to do everything possible to give people some hope and generate some goodwill. And I think making a whole presentation out of announcements that very much could have been an email is just not going to help with that. And kind of confirming people's mockeries of Bethesda and the way they continuously re-release stuff to the point where it's ridiculous, by re-releasing Fallout 4 yet again in New Vegas, re-releasing that while offering nothing terribly significantly new, and also raising the potential of mods getting broken if the anniversary edition of Fallout 4 just utilizes, different technical elements that can break mods, as we've seen with previous Bethesda re-releases of like Skyrim. The re-releases of that did break mods and people had to readjust, and so that whole potential process being a reality, all that combined creates an environment where people are really not happy with Fallout Day and the lack of anything really invigorating. Now, I do believe that down the line, we're going to see announcements that will hype people up. We are eventually going to see a remaster of one of the older Fallout games. And, one day, many, many, many years down the line, we will see Fallout 5 announced, and that'll get people hyped. And hopefully, Bethesda will deliver an experience that feels more evolved than the games that they've been releasing in recent years, where it feels like they're stuck in the past compared to some of those open world RPGs that we've seen from studios who have really kind of pushed the boundaries of what you can do with that genre. Bethesda, once upon a time, were the kings of open world RPGs that happen in real time, combat and everything. But lately, it's felt like their games just feel really antiquated, especially with how their engines function and our technical mess, really. Like, there's no other way to put it. So hopefully there will be an evolution that is felt throughout their upcoming projects. With the remasters, obviously, they're just going to keep it the same. It's going to be the same game, but with an Unreal Engine graphics overlay on top with some little gameplay enhancements here and there, which is what Oblivion Remastered was. With Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6 even, I really hope that those games feel like the next evolution of Bethesda games, where it doesn't feel like just the same old kind of duct tape technical elements, the same old engine with no significant enough enhancements to make this feel like a truly next-gen Bethesda title. But I suppose only time will tell. In the meantime, though, Bethesda did itself no favors by hosting this Fallout Day broadcast 2025 and announcing a whole lot of nothing, basically, or nothing that would really invigorate Fallout fans, and re-releasing games yet again in a manner that only, again, just kind of brings truth to some of the mockery that they face as a company that re-releases games to an unreasonably, just laughable degree. But that's one man's take. I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on Bethesda Game Studios' Fallout Day broadcast 2025, the announcements surrounding it. Were you expecting about what we got, or were you expecting something a little more? Are you okay with what we got, or are you disappointed? And what do you think the future holds for Bethesda Game Studios and the Fallout IP? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.